Open your eyes, what can you see around? Wind of the open sky, over the siren sound. This is a dream, getting the royal scar, holding a diamond blade, throwing it far. You see me fly, you know they'll never catch me for it. You see me fly, the way I put my finger on it. You see me fly, you got it.
Well, hello everybody! And first off, I will say, pardon my voice as I suffer through some allergy stuff, but I don't care about any of that. The one thing I'm not allergic to is some time in Garrett, Maryland, with some of my favorite people on the planet, RPGers extraordinaire. And today, our third group enters into the confines of the vampiric apocalypse known as Outbreak Undead, the Feast. Do we have an echo? Echo? Do we have one? If we do, I will take care of it. Immediately, if not sooner. Echo, yes? Everything sound okay, everybody? Okay, so if I'm sounding okay, here is what we do. As we get into Garrett, Maryland, and as we dive into this yet another scenario that seems to be, well, we haven't really found out, but there seems to be some synergy among the vampire population, and something's afoot. And so the one thing you need to know about Outbreak Undead the Feast is that everyone that plays in this scenario will be playing themselves using the SPEW, the SPEW system, developed by Hunters Entertainment. The players answered a questionnaire and they were assigned stats as if they themselves were thrust into the vampiric apocalypse. Now, those that have gone before, the two groups, have affected the world. They have changed it in significant ways, as we will see at the very beginning of this episode. This group will also have the same rules. Should they do anything that would affect groups to follow, that too will be reflected in future sessions. Now today we have a double beheader. We have this group and then we have another group coming in the afternoon. Anything that happens here will be reflected there. And what was will be, and what is to come will definitely happen. If you would like to affect the game positively or negatively, you can look straight down and you can see that there are donation options where you can award advantages or auto successes for either a single player or the group. Also, if you're feeling particularly nasty and you want to take back a little bit of your Friday power, you can summon an ancient. An ancient is one of the most powerful vampires representing one of the groups that are in play. One of these ancients have already been summoned. The face claim of that ancient is Susan Sarandon. She is in play, which is not good if you hit her area of influence, unless, of course, you're Susanna, who is doing quite well. So at the end of this episode, we will see exactly who's standing, who's crawling, and who's evolving. But before we can go forward, we have to go back to the present, find out who's playing, and I'd ask the character they're playing, but they're playing themselves. So let's drop straight down. Steve, how are you doing, my friend, and are you ready for the vampiric apocalypse?
Hey, buddy, how you doing? Yes, I am ready for the vampiric apocalypse. I have, last year was zombies, this year will be vampires. I have a lot worse feeling about this one than last year, so I am ready to die, I guess.
I like the optimism and the statement of fact. Let's jump over to my new friend Pat. Pat, how are you doing? And welcome to the channel. And are you ready for the vampiric apocalypse?
Hi, I'm doing great. I am absolutely not ready, but it's going to be a blast anyway. I'm looking forward to it.
Fantastic. And then over to a familiar face here on the channel, Ozzy. Ozzy, I know that you're ready to. You went into the zombie apocalypse. You got a busted arm in that one. What are your odds? What are you giving yourself this year, Oz?
I'm about 1,000 against, I think. Especially I sort of adapted my stats to my current physical stats, which are basically non-existent. We'll see what happens. and how I magically appear in America from, sitting on a chair in the UK.
Right, that's the mystery of role-playing. It's that suspension of disbelief. And let's go over to another new friend to the channel. Paladin, my friend, how are you doing, and are you ready for the apocalypse?
Hi, everybody. I'm Paladin Hulk. I'm happy to be here. Not so happy to be in the apocalypse, because that seems like a bad place to be. I'm playing one of the most inept people I know, me. So it should all just go super well.
Fantastic, fantastic. So you know the players, you know the characters, they're one and the same. Now the only thing that we need to know is where they are, what they're doing, and how the town of Garrett, Maryland will affect their lives from the get-go. I shouldn't say the town of Garrett, Maryland, because the town of Garrett, Maryland and the current ruling population had a much different idea for how this group would start the fun and festivities of the feast. But let's start as we always do, from above, the bat's eye view, if you will. And as we see Garrett, Maryland, and as we see the tranquil setting that is this fall autumnal evening, about 3 hours after the sun has set, it seems normal. The street lights go from green to yellow to red, but no cars move on the streets, no population wanders here or there. It is deserted, point of fact. There's a couple odd things if you were to peer closely as we zoom ahead. You would see that one of the great windows along the side of the Maplehurst Mall has been shattered inward, as if a truck had driven into it. And as you would proceed up through, you would notice that there is a very, not irate, that would be too undignified, a very stern man in a business suit, hair slicked back, stalking through the streets, but moving with an elegance that doesn't speak of humanity. And that's, oh, wait a minute, there's one other thing that you would notice, something strangely unattended, and that is the raging forest fire off to the side of Garrett. No emergency personnel, no lights are flashing to quell this incredible blaze. No helicopters, nothing, just the fire. Oh, and what's that? Along one of the roads heading towards Constitution Park, there's a van. It seems to be surrounded by these flames, as if it has been driven into the middle of them, or perhaps overtaken by the blaze that no one expected. Let's begin our story as we go not into a building, but through the back cabinet doors of the van, as we see 4 figures bound with hoods over their heads. I would like all of my players to roll our first rolls. Some spot listen, please.
Well, someone's doing well.
Steve, as luck would have it, air quotes,
Yes.
you hear a couple things. You start to come to. You don't know how you arrived in the state that you're in, but you can feel the metal behind you, a slightly curved but warm metal. And as you sit there, you realize that you're warm everywhere. You're perspiring. You can't see, though, as something is over your head, and your hands appear to be bound at the wrist in front of you. Your legs, however, are free, and you can hear what sounds like weeping.
That's probably me.
What the hell? What kind of bound am I in? Is it rope?
You can't really feel it, but it's definitely secured around your wrist.
Can I like try to rub?
Absolutely. Roll me a, let's see, just to get this started, give me a melee attack. Let's just do a slashing as you're trying to just kind of tear yourself free. You start to feel it give, Steve, and it's not rope, but you begin to feel the pull of what what feels like a tie, like a plastic tie, but you can feel that it's giving, and it might have something to do with the heat, that it's just enough for the plastic to kind of just get a little sweaty, just get a little loose. But you think that if you keep working on it, you can get out of this.
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just intensify it. Hello. I'll kind of try to bump two to the side of me to see if I bump into anybody.
Okay, Paladin, you feel something bump against your side as you begin to awaken from this sleep, this haze that you were in. And as you awaken, you feel the same things that Stephen felt. You feel the warmth, almost an uncomfortable heat. And you realize that your hands too are bound in front of you and something is over your head.
That just happens to be one of the things I'm horrified of, like being like confined. So I thrash and just shake all around to try to get loose and get the hood off. Like, I'm not braining this, I'm just freaking out.
Okay, let's make a composure roll here. And as you make your composure, I won't hold a failure against you because this is self-inflicted, but you make a composure roll and we'll see. Yeah, with a 1, you kind of reach up, you scratch your face a little bit with your hands tied, but you're able to pull off the hood that is on your face. And as you look around, you see that there is a figure similarly bound and hooded beside you that just bumped into you. And across from the van that you are in, you see 2 other figures that are bound and hooded. And off to your left of those 2 across from you, you see another figure with a hood laying beside them, rocking back and forth and crying. The head of this person is against their knees. You can't identify them. Let's jump to who had the next highest one. I believe it was Pat. Pat, you begin to awaken in the same manner. You hear this crying. You hear a thrashing, just like you could feel someone's feet hitting your own feet, and this uncomfortable warmth as it's almost like being in a dry sauna. You know, it's just oppressive, but you have a hood, you can't see anything, but there are a lot of other senses that are being stimulated around you. What do you do, my friend?
I think I try and pop up, like stand up, and if we're in a van, probably hit my head on the roof of the van.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, let's do roll me a balance. And what this is for is, like, as you stand up, if you kind of like shoulder into the side or head into the side. Paladin, you see the figure across from you spring up, smash into the roof, and drop right back down. Take 1 harm, Pat, as you tried valiantly to get up.
That's a good try.
It was an impressive stand, yeah.
Maybe like rubbing my head where I just smacked it, I feel the
Yeah,
hood and can try and pull that off.
You're still bound, and for the 1 health, I'll allow you to pull off the hood. And as you pull it off, the dry heat that you're experiencing gets a little more humid as Paladin would see a line of blood come out of your hair as you pull the hood down, just trickling down the side of Pat's face. It seems to have been inflicted by this dastardly roof of the van.
Is the car moving? Did I miss that?
Mm-mm.
No, it's a standstill. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be like huddled in the corner, and then I'll pull myself together and be like, fuck. And I'll try to get to the back of the van to see if I can figure out how to open it.
Sure thing. You're moving towards the back as we go to our final awoken, which is Ozzy. Ozzy, you come to same thing as everybody else. You feel this heat, this incredible heat. Something's over your face, and your hands are bound at the wrist in front of you.
What? Hello? And I assume I also hear people moving around and scuffling and stuff.
Ozzy, is that you, buddy?
What? Steve? What's going on?
It's me, buddy. It's me. I'm trying to get out of
I'll
these...
try to get the...
Start rubbing your
the
hands
hood
together. Start rubbing your hands together. They'll start to pull off.
Ozzy, make me a melee attack slashing as you try to follow.
Slashing. Okay.
You try to rub yourself.
Whoa. A degree of success.
Well practiced with rubbing himself, Ozzy explodes. Ozzy explodes from these wrist contraptions. They shall not restrain him any longer. So Ozzy, you feel the snap and the give of one of these ties.
What is this? Where am I?
Ozzy, you would see Pat and Paladin have both taken their hoods off. They're both still bound.
Paladin?
And
I know you.
Steve is hooded and still working with his stuff, and there's somebody weeping to your right.
Ozzy, get this hood off me, buddy.
Yeah, I'll sort of move across, sit on the bench next to Steve, and take his hood off.
It's good to see you, man.
But how did I get here? What is this place? What?
I don't know, buddy. I don't know. We got to get the hell out of here, though.
Working on it.
I assume this is one of those vans where the back, like a delivery van type thing.
Exactly. So what all of you...
So there's no gap to the front cabin?
Well, no, with this one, you can see that there is the windshield up front with two kind of captain's chairs there. But in this this long opening in the back, there aren't any windows, not even in the back doors. The back doors themselves are solid. And Paladin, you just figure that out as you get to the back and like look around. You can see that there's a release for the back door to open it, but you can't see out. There's no windows at this level. And we're going to just say, for the sake of getting through, now that enough of you are free, Paladin, Steve, and Pat, you all are able to get free with the help of Ozzy, who can get you out of your wrist restraints.
But I can't open the back of the van.
The back appears to be open. Like
If
if
we
I
have
open the back
anything-
of the van.
when you open it, I would like you to roll let's go with a dodge roll, please. So, at the expense of one eyebrow, Paladin, as you open the back, flame rushes in through the crack. Just as soon as you crack the back door, flame rushes in, and you're able to pull your head back. You don't suffer any damage, but that smell of burning hair quickly fills the space as you're able to get the door closed back in front, and the warmth of the walls now becomes a little bit easier to explain, as it appears that there is a pretty significant fire just outside the van.
There's a fire.
Jesus.
Can we get to the front of the van?
Yeah. What can we see out the windshield?
Yep.
As you all move towards the front, the person closest to the front lifts their head up. It's no use, man. We're dead. It's game over, man.
I'll go over
Is
and
there someone sitting in the
take their
driver's
hood
seat?
off.
They are not. Their hood's already beside them. It seems that they already escaped their hood, and they're not bound. Whatever they did, they freed themselves at some point, but have just been kind of rocking and weeping. They look up. All of you now realize that you are wearing a green jumpsuit, and this person, while there is another jumpsuit laying around, this person is sitting there in what is like a white tank top with tattoos up both arms, sleeved. Their gauges in their ears, as there's just no escape, man. It's game over. There's fire everywhere.
Can we check for keys in the van?
Yeah.
As you look forward, roll me a spot listen, Steve.
One failure.
You can see the keys are actually hanging from the ignition, but as you look out the front, you see not fire everywhere, but a pretty significant blaze. However, the road in front of you It's one of those things where as the air carries it across the gap, there'll be like a wave of flame goes across the dry dirt road, and then it's clear. And then a wave of flame, and then it's clear. It's all.
So we gotta do some driving.
Well,
Or get out the front. You can't get out the back. There's fire everywhere.
we're gonna be safer in here.
I say we drive this sumbitch.
Mm-hmm.
You can't drive it, man. The wheels popped.
Can I be
Don't-
looking over this mystery
we
person
don't
that's
need
with us,
tires.
trying to get them to stand up?
Trying to get them to stand up.
Yeah, it's just so I could check them for any like wounds, see if they're injured, anything like that.
That's interesting. Roll me a spot listen as you look at them. Yeah, Pat, as soon as you get closer, you see that face claim Bill Paxton. Bill is sitting there, and you get closer, he's like, "Get away from me, man." But when he says that, he looks up in defiance, and you see a tattoo of 2 marks on his neck that have little tattooed ink lines coming from them that look a lot like blood.
It's at least stand up. It's this. You're just gonna burn yourself if you keep laying against the metal. Stand up. Do you know where the hell are we? Do you know anything about this?
He looks around and sort of realizes now. Just shut up and sit down. We'll figure this out.
No, that's not what we're doing.
I'm gonna still try to drive this sumbitch.
Yep.
I'm
Drive it.
jumping in the driver's seat.
Please.
I will let you easily start up the van, and Steve, as soon as you put it into any kind of drive, low through D, as you indicate the gear selection, it just makes a sound.
Shit. How do you? I kind of scream back at the tattoo guy. How did you know all this stuff? Who put us in here?
Are the doors open on in the front? Can we get out?
Yeah, I mean it's
There's fire everywhere.
yeah. Open the door, jump out.
Look, I'm out there.
Before anybody can react, Steve, as soon as you go to open the door, you feel an incredibly powerful hand on your shoulder. You aren't going anywhere, man. This is fucked, but I'm not gonna let it get super fucked.
Who's this guy with the tattoo?
Yep.
I would probably jam him and elbow him, get him off me.
Okay, so I need you to roll me a melee attack bludgeon as you attempt to pull yourself free. And just for giggles, you feel the pull back, and this grip intensifies. Steve, you take 1 damage as you start to feel your skin beneath your green jumpsuit pierce with these rather long nails this fellow is sporting.
What the hell are you?
You're better, man. And with 1 movement, he rips you out of the driver's seat and throws you in the back towards Paladin. Paladin, roll me a dodge.
Okie dokie. Ooh.
Paladin,
good.
here's what happens. You take a damage, but Steve only takes 1. He was going to take 2. So he hits you. You kind of half catch Steve as the 2 of you are now together. As this...
Falling against the super hot the
Not-
doors in the back.
Yeah, not enough to like burn you, but it gets uncomfortable very quickly. At this point, the tattooed man turns around and looks at you all. I said, sit down. And he starts to reach for the glove compartment. At this point, I would like to ask my 4 players what you would like to do.
I'm going to try and get into the glove compartment first because I'm sitting in the passenger seat.
Okay, Ozzy, as you do that, I want you to roll me 1 speed die. So put 1 on the indicator and click the blue box. What would everyone
2.
else like to do? Pat, Paladin, Steve?
If he's reaching for the passenger seat, trying to get in there, I'm gonna see if I can try and slide by him out the driver's door, just while he's going for something.
Okay, you roll me a... Actually, roll me a stealth here. This is basically to... There's a lot going on, and see if he focuses his attention elsewhere.
Wow.
He does not. This will all happen at once. So, Stephen Paladin, what would you two like to do?
Any weapons around? Anything we can grab to nail him with?
Roll me a spot listen.
Holy water, maybe?
There's a huge bucket of it just sitting there.
There it is.
My God, how did we miss this? Steve, as you look around, you see that there seems to be a lot of implements you would find in a hardware store. You see a lot more of these zip ties. You see a lot more like wire. You see rope, and you see some type of adhesive. It almost looks like a bucket of stain or a bucket of like sealant. All these things are kind of packaged and put together in a large carrying pail, like half of a storage container with a handle on it. Much like you would see a contractor have. This is kind of the equipment that you're looking at. Nothing that screams weapon, but there is a lot of stuff.
I'm going to use my action to wrap my head around the fact that he's a monster. Because I think we can tell now, because of the claws and the easily tossing a man from a seat. But, like, I'm not ready for that, so I'm going to take a moment to process.
Right, which is a fantastic segue, Paladin, as I ask all of my friends to make their very first composure roll, as you are faced with someone that is definitely not human.
One more. There you go.
We're all scared shitless.
Okay, so how this plays out is as you all fail your first composure roll, this is a lot like baseball, my friends. As the other groups will tell you, 1 strike, that's nothing. 2, you still got a chance. 3, you're out. So as you all feel this flush, just like Paladin described, it's in these seconds as this is transpired that it's very evident that this person in front of you is not natural, is not human. There's that coldness that goes down your spine. What the mechanical result of all of that is it makes you freeze. And Ozzy, as your hand goes to press the button in for the compartment, it stops, and you see this being press the button, open it, and you see a handgun inside. But just as he reaches for it, you become active. All of you now have another turn as hand goes around gun, and as soon as Pat makes his move for the door, he freezes with this. That's how we're gonna say your 5 failures for the stealth go. So Pat, you're like kind of over the captain's chair going for the door when it strikes you that this person isn't human. So you're all in those positions as the hand goes over the handle of the gun and he begins to pull free this Glock. Ozzy, this is happening literally in your lap as this gun is being produced. What do you all do as I change this music because it's entirely too calm for what is happening at this moment?
I'm going to grab the rope and try to like pull, you know what I mean? Like get behind him and try to like pull him back and around his body as he's going for the gun.
Okay, you're going to tackle. Roll me 1 blue
I'm gonna
die.
shoulder check him, so we're gonna do
legs.
this together.
Take the legs.
Okay.
Shoulder checking. What do you want me to?
So I think I should go first, knock him off balance, and then
Yeah.
you can grab him as
That'll
he's
work.
like. All right,
Okay,
what do you want me to
so
roll?
What
Paladin,
do I roll?
I want you to do a melee attack bludgeon, and Steve, I want you to just roll me a speed die, 1 speed die.
Oof.
My friends, let's take a timeout real quick. I'm gonna turn the music off. I've seen bad rolls in this game. This game is filled with bad rolls. I just want you all to know, take solace in the fact that I've never seen rolls like this ever. I've never seen this number of
Well,
5
let's act
degrees
like the bad rolls are the good rolls. Let's just switch it.
Well,
You just gave me a bad character to play.
right.
You gave me someone confident.
Paladin, this is the
9.
worst pre-gen ever, man.
Do I eat the rope? I must eat the rope then, right? With a 9.
Well, what we're gonna do, we'll go ahead and let me put the music back on. What we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll play this all out. I want to know what Pat's doing. Pat, you're frozen as you see Steve and Paladin rush forward trying to do this combo maneuver. I need to know what Pat and Ozzy are trying to do at this moment.
I'm just flailing wildly.
Yeah, I fall on my ass and I'm just like backing away as far as I can.
Okay.
Like as soon as I see the gun, I'm like, nope.
Okay, so roll me 1 speed die then. Just put a 1 on the blue box and roll the blue box, and we'll see where you end up with all of this. And Ozzy, roll me an attack bludgeon. Okay. So here's how everything plays out. There is an attack as Paladin comes in and shoulder checks into what feels like part of the van. He doesn't give at all. It's like hitting a wall. Steve, you grab around with using some of the rope and begin to pull him back. Again, he does not bend. He takes a half step back just because of the combined efforts of the two of you. And Ozzy, that is a bit of an opening as you begin to flail around. Somehow you find that both of your hands are on the wrist as the gun is just in front of you, as the hand with the gun is, and as you're holding it, all of this is happening. Pat, you slide to the back of the van as you kind of crab crawl back, and your back hits the door that Paladin opened earlier, and you can feel that uncomfortable warmth. You remember the flames that licked through. He is going to attempt to break free from Ozzy, and he is going to attempt to do something a lot not as fun. He breaks free from Ozzy, and he turns and point blank. I would like to have Paladin, Ozzy, and Steve each for me roll 1 blue die. Steve, he turns and shoots you. You take 6 damage, Steve, as you feel this shot rip through your stomach. And Pat, as you're against the back of the door, you feel something mist over your face, and you realize that's part of Steve.
Steve is dead.
Steve, you're not dead. You have sustained a gut shot. And as you drop to the ground, you are bleeding heavily from this wound.
Can I try and race over to him and just like apply pressure?
Absolutely. Roll me a first aid check as you get over to him. Ozzy and Paladin, you see this happen as the gun, it's almost as if time is suspended, and you see a cartridge coming out of the side of the gun as it flies through the air. Paladin and Ozzy, I will give you both a chance to act.
I'm getting a syntax error for first aid. It does not like that.
It does not like it? Then the hell with it. Go ahead and roll me a composure that won't go against you. So just roll me a composure check. Okay, so you get over, and depending upon your ability to read the situation, it doesn't look like it went through the middle, but it looks like it went off to the side. You don't know if that's good or bad, but
I'll get between him and the injured people, and I'll be like, okay, don't shoot, you win. What do you want? Don't shoot.
Roll me.
I will just drop down into the footwell and cower,
Son of a
because
bitch, you already shot me.
this is the first time I've seen an actual gun being shot in vicinage to me.
I've never seen a gun that hasn't been held by a police officer. So,
well, welcome to Garrett, Maryland. And as the
I think we're in the United States.
It's awful, but
it is awful.
Roll me a Paladin, roll me a diplomacy persuade as you stand in front of. The good news
0
is,
degrees of failure. That's not
Right.
That's not horrible.
the good news is he doesn't shoot again, but his eyes narrow as he looks at all of you. Steve, Pat is attending to you as he's. Ozzy, you're in the footwell of the passenger side of the van, kind of cowering, but low. You've got a bit of cover here. Just sit down, man. Just sit down.
That's it.
God damn it. And he starts to walk around, and then he realizes where Ozzy is. Get in the back, man.
I'll try. Get up.
Son of a bitch shot me. He shot me.
Fuck, Steve.
He,
Don't choose. What's going on? Come on, tell us what's going on.
get in the back, man. Trying to think. As he goes back, he's just kind of stalking back and forth in that very confined space. Anybody
You could
that's
barely hear him because, that gun in a confined space was probably pretty loud.
Yeah. I mean, spoken like somebody that is applying logic to this scenario. Yeah, it would be loud as hell. But, as you're getting that muffled, like, just sit down. That's what you would all be experiencing. As he goes back and forth, he gets back behind the driver's side. And again, you hear that woo, woo, as he spins the wheel. God damn it, fuck, as he's moving around. He bangs the thing, and he puts the gun on the dashboard and reaches back into the glove compartment and pulls out a smartphone. And you see him over and over try to key in something. And you can, as your hearing comes back, hear that telltale boop, 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 as he doesn't apparently have the service he needs here in an inferno. But you are all
I checked
together.
my own pockets.
You have nothing. Just a green jumpsuit.
Darn.
Look, man, whatever you want to tell us, you can tell us outside of a damn fire. I don't want to burn to death. Can we get the hell out of here? Just let us leave.
You can't leave, man.
Well, we can't with you blocking the door. We have to try. The car's not working.
I grabbed the other jumpsuit, the one that was on the floor. And I'll pass that back to you so you can use it to help Steve.
Thank you.
F this guy, man. Shot me.
Yeah, you are all able to. Steve's bleeding is bad, but it doesn't seem to be. You can tie it tightly and apply pressure. Steve, you're still with us. You're just. I'm not sure you'd want to be. You feel pretty bad.
Just want a shot, man. That's all I want. Just give me a shot. I just got to get a shot of something in me, and I'll be okay.
He turns around. What am I supposed to do, man? I'm supposed to get you to the carousel and tie you up and let you go. God damn it. What time is it? He checks his thing. Oh, shit. It's past time. Oh, shit. Oh, damn it.
We can walk there. It's going to be okay.
Well,
it's going to be fine.
There's a
We can
fire
walk there.
outside.
Let's just walk.
He turns around, and it's at this point, if there was any doubt that this guy wasn't human, you can see the long, lengthened teeth as he turns, and his eyes are almost jet black. I can't go outside in the fire, man.
Neither can we.
This guy get fucked, man. Let us go. I got to get to a hospital, man. Whatever you are.
Nice makeup, by the way.
Roll a... Whoever... I'm going to elect one person here to be the spokesperson for the group.
Not me.
This person, if you can roll me a diplomacy persuade, barter, or bribe, if you think of some way that you can do either of those things. Intimidate, if you think that'll work. Some type of persuasion element skill here to try to...
Sounds like Paladin.
I'll say, it's going to be okay. We'll follow your plan. We'll do whatever you say. Whatever you want us to do, we'll do. Hopefully they'll calm him down enough to...
The only way we can get you out of here is we got to get the fire out. Then, man, we got to get the fire out so you can leave, whatever the hell you are.
Paladin, roll me whatever you would like to roll in the diplomacy suite of skills.
Well, no way I'm intimidating a giant vampire, so... Oh, 3 degrees of failure. Whoop, whoop.
Just turn around, man, and shut up! As he goes back to pushing that phone. If anything, it doesn't seem that he is concerned with you all anymore. He thinks his body language suggests that he's more concerned with himself.
Okay.
That's a hell of a bribe, Lawful. Now you're thinking, where was this type of... Okay, I need to ask what you all would like to do. The back door is getting... Pat, as you are farthest back, probably, as you were helping Steve, you can tell that the back of this van is getting now painful to lean against. It was uncomfortable before, but now it's, if there is the fire moving from behind, it's engulfed the back of the vehicle.
Tell him we'll cover him up or something, and we'll get him out of here. That's the only thing we can do. He's got to come with us. It's the only way out.
Yeah, the fire is coming to you, bud. It's getting worse back here. We need to go. This is your only chance to get away.
Was that any fire you described earlier that there was fire sort of, at the front, waving past now and then. Is there any fire right next to any of the side doors? Like the driver's door or the passenger door?
I'll give you this one for free, Oz. It doesn't look like it. Now, again, the wind currents are the biggest problem here because you're on what looks to be an old dirt road. And it's enough of a fire break that there's nothing burning in front of you. You're not sure exactly what's burning behind to have the fire this close to the vehicle. But whatever it did, it caught up behind. But in front of you, you can see a clear shot. But then when the wind changes, you'll see as the fire just breaks across.
Okay.
There were sacks of stuff, right? Was
I'll
it
get
flammable stuff?
Or passenger door.
Roll me a spot listen, Paladin, as you look at the crate of goodies back there.
And I'll get out of the no, I'll pop the hood first, and then I'll get out of the passenger side door and see if I can fix the car.
He is not going to let you get out. As soon as you make a move, he reaches for the gun and looks back at you, Ozzy.
Are there any doors behind?
Look, I can probably fix the car.
Can't fix tires, man. Pop the goddamn tires.
We don't need tires.
We can't go without them. As he pushes the gas down. It just makes that...
So the engine is actually running.
The engine's running, yeah. It's just making...
Oh, right, okay. So they're turning on the asphalt.
Yep, Paladin, as you look at the collection of stuff, you're not sure. It's not that you... It looks... I mean, obviously, anything that's in here could probably burn, like the rope could, and things like that. But as far as, like, the bucket of adhesive, it looks to be...
There's no, like, flammable sign on there?
No, somehow... It's just all white, and it says adhesive on the outside.
Can I say something to him real quick, the vampire?
Sure.
Listen, asshole, we are going to all burn. You done shot me. The only way for you to get out of here is for us to get out and run, and we can cover you up. That's it. You're obviously stronger than us. We can't get away from you. Let us help you get out so we don't die here, idiot.
Roll a diplomacy barter bribe, Steve.
And I'll give him the bucket and say, "Here, you can cover yourself with this. It's fire resistant."
Goddamn moron! Don't you see we're gonna burn up in here?
Paladin, because I absolutely love that idea. Persuade. Roll me a persuade check.
Yes.
What are you talking about, man? As he looks back at Paladin and seems for the first time to be engaging you all. What do you mean you could get me out of here?
Look, just cover yourself in this. It's gonna work.
What do you mean? What is this like? What is this? Is it gonna, what is it
It's
like?
fire resistant.
Really?
Yeah. I give him the bucket. Stump it.
He opened up the top, and you see him pull out he puts a little bit of his finger into it, and he pulls out a lighter. I'm gonna give everybody a chance here to do something.
Dive?
What would you like to do? He has stepped back into the van proper now. The front two seats are open, but they're past him. He's always keeping himself between you and all in the exits. But he's looking at you all as he's getting ready to like basically light the tip of his finger to see if this thing burns. Is there anything you all would like to do before he tries that?
I'm going to dive for cover.
Okay. Towards the back?
Well, no. To the like under the seat where we were sitting on earlier.
Okay. Pat, Paladin, Steve, you're going to need help if you want to move anywhere quickly.
That was going to be what I do.
I'm going to lay there and die.
I was going to try and help Steve to his feet and then just see if I can, like if this guy is kind of coming towards the back now, to see if I could kind of rotate us a little bit closer to the front.
Absolutely. I will let you know this too. He left the gun on the dashboard.
Oh, fuck.
I'm gonna tip the bucket on him,
Let's do it.
making it look like I'm tripping.
Can I drop Steve and then dive for the gun?
Absolutely. So, Pat, you decide to dive for the gun. I would like Pat, Paladin, and Ozzy to all roll me one speed
Can I try
dive.
to distract him? Can I try to distract him?
With what, soft shoe or what do you?
Yeah, just something like like my blood.
Steve, that's fantastic. So you're gonna use your blood to distract him?
Yeah, I'm gonna, you know what I mean, like try to get him away from coming toward me. Like, look at all this blood.
Roll me a persuade with advantage. So roll it twice.
Persuade. Where is persuade at?
Diplomacy persuade. It's in the second column.
I see it. Gotcha.
Roll it again just to see. So describe to me how you get his attention. You're covered in your own blood. He knows that. How do you go the extra mile to get his attention?
I go like this. I kind of like open up my wound and like rub it right on my face. I go, there you go, buddy, and on my neck.
So as the lighter gets closer to the finger, it's almost like the smell hits him before the suggestion by the voice as he looks up at Steve. And I would like Paladin, Ozzy, and Pat to all roll me one speed. Well, we did that. We did the speed dive. Ozzy, you dive and make it back into the passenger side footwell. Paladin, you are able to successfully tip this bucket as it goes from about mid-stomach all the way down like the front of him. He's still not noticing this as it's all happening in the seconds. Pat, I want you to roll a dodge roll because as you go last, this person is engulfed in flames as it licks from finger, drips down to stomach, and he begins to burn and his eyes go wide and scream. But let's get a dodge roll from you, Pat, to see if you... 0 degrees of failure means you didn't fail or succeed, so it's a wash. Much like a Michael Bay movie, Pat jumps just as the fire goes off, but not enough. He Millennium Falcons it as he comes out the other side, smoking a little bit, and you put your hands on the gun, Pat, as you get around the front. There is a living vampiric candle in the back with you, Steve. And Paladin, you are right beside it. I want you to roll a dodge as he begins to, what the fuck, man? As he's turning and there's fire licking and splashing off of him.
You wanted a dodge?
A dodge, please.
Okay, we got it. Wow.
As he turns, a huge glob of this very flammable adhesive flips off of his the shirt that's already ablaze, and it splashes on your green jumpsuit. You're going to take 2 harm from this, Paladin, but your green jumpsuit is burning at this point. So with one of your arm is engulfed in flames, it licks up by your face as you look away. Ozzy, Pat, you're in the front. Steve, you're in the back. With this,
can I scream
Out
to Pat?
the door.
Shoot this sumbitch! Shoot him, Pat! Or I don't know, Pat. Shoot him, buddy! Shoot him!
Paladin.
I start screaming and just try. Like,
I'm gonna stumble back and try to take off the thing, the jumpsuit.
Okay, yeah, you can absolutely spend your movement to get your self out of this burning outfit. And what we'll say for modesty's sake is Paladin is able to basically tear the one corner that's on fire off. So you look like Ash from the Walking Dead, or the Army of Darkness. You got like the one arm out. Pat, you're gonna turn around and open up.
just screaming and panicking as I see this like flaming person.
Okay, so Pat, roll me a firearms pistol as you turn around and attempt.
You got this.
0 degrees of failure is 0 degrees of success. So this is a push, and what I like to do is roll me 1 damage die, so 1 red square, and we'll see where we go from that.
Whoa!
Whoa! As it explodes twice. Steve, you see this as it's burning. He's screaming, "What the fuck, man!" And as soon as he screams, you hear it stop as a bullet blasts through the rear of the neck and explodes out the front as the eyes of Bill Paxton go wide, and he stumbles towards you, Steve. He is on fire and reeling towards you and the back of the van.
Okay, this time around, I'm not as sad that Bill Paxton's dead.
Right. I know. Rip Bill. One of my favorites
Yeah, poor
ever.
guy. Amazing.
Steve, at this point, I'm going to need you to roll me a dodge, and whatever successes you get, we're going to reduce them by 2. So if you have 1 failure, it's 3 failures. 5 successes, 3 successes, because you are pushing yourself basically in a sluice of your own blood.
There's no way I could kick him over, like coming at me, like hit his shins. There's no way I could kick him.
If you're going to keep yourself in harm's way of the burning vampire, I will allow you to roll me a melee attack bludgeon to try and trip him down. Yeah. Without a disadvantage.
Yeah, I think that would help me better because then I could at least roll out of the way after that once he hits the ground.
Okay, 1 degree of failure is, and you can't take any more harm specifically, but as luck would have it, you do trip him, but you trip him with your side as you slip to the ground. He kicks your gunshot wound and flips forward, arms comically pinwheeling as he hits the back doors of the van and blows them open as he falls into the raging inferno behind the van. Steve, as you turn around, luckily you're on the ground as the fire rushes up in a wave and licks the top of the van just an inch or 2 above your face. You're lying beneath a wave of fire. Pat,
I drag
Ozzy,
Steve out.
Paladin,
I immediately try to get him away from that fire and towards the front where we can get out.
okay, roll me I want an endurance from you here as you are leaning down and pulling him out of this flame.
Yay.
Paladin does exactly what he says as he reaches down beneath the flame, does not get caught, and with his burned ash Army of Darkness arm, he is able to pull out Steve. Steve, you're just your blood acting as lubrication here to help Paladin out a bit as you are all at the front of the van now. Pat, you're still standing there, smoke coming out of the end of the gun as you blasted this guy to hell and back. And as the 4 of you look out the open back doors, you see a silhouette screaming in the middle of this fire as towards the end you hear a gurgling, "It's game over, man!"
Fuck you, man! Fuck you!
There is still fire pouring in the back of this van. that
Yeah.
because of the moving engine, you would suggest probably still has gasoline in it.
Get out of the van. Move.
Yeah, I'm out already.
I'm trying.
Okay, yeah, Steve, you're moving at half movement here unless somebody helps you.
I'm staying with him.
Paladin, you're staying with him?
You're a
Okay.
hell of a guy, man. Thank you.
As you all open the doors and look out, you see that behind you in every direction is a wall of fire. But in front of you, again, you see the wind blowing as it blows the fire across the lane in front of you. As you go and as you run, I need you all, if you are going to try to, it's difficult to time, but it can be done. If you need to, in
I've
fact,
played enough video games.
yeah,
I
this
look
is-
back at the explosion because I'm not cool.
As well, you're right against the van right now, and it has not blown up yet. And
Yeah,
with the
you gotta get away.
realization that you have a bomb at your back and a timed fire challenge and skill jumping challenge in front of you, I'd like you all to roll your second composure roll, please.
Nope.
Oh, am I not good at this?
So, with failures by everybody but Pat, still holding
That's
the
such
gun.
a superstar.
Yeah, Pat holding the gun. Listen, I've never seen a gun with 1D do 11. So there was your moment, Pat. Was you had it? Let's have some more. So as you kind of keep calm, as somehow the adrenaline is pushed down in you, Pat, everybody else, you look at this realization that you've got this thing in front of you, and you tell me how you'd like to get through this. What skills are you going to use to get through this? And I'll tell you what to roll.
You have to fly.
Okay, Steve blows up.
I'm waiting for the other two to have a plan. I'm just standing here with Steve, ready to go, whatever the plan's going to be.
Is there
Yeah,
clearing?
just try to time it and
Yeah.
go for it, because I'd rather die in that attempt than wait around and to be roasted.
Okay. I tell you what, roll me a navigation as you look and
Okay.
attempt to see if there's perhaps even a better way through this.
Ooh, 1 degree of success.
Can we all roll?
Well, Ozzy has succeeded, so Ozzy, if you choose to share this with everybody else, they
Right,
would.
1, 2, and on 3 we go that way. And I point.
All right.
And yeah, Ozzy, you realize that it's blowing from left to right, and even during one of the gusts, the right side doesn't get completely engulfed in flame. It's almost like it makes it just across and then curls upwards towards the heavens.
Hang right when you run. Hang right.
So
And
I'm
I
pulling you,
go-
Ozzy.
And then I go 1, 2, go.
Then we all go.
who's leading?
And I limp forward.
Ozzy, are you leading them through here? Like you're timing it as?
Yeah.
Okay, so Ozzy's in front. Pat, are you behind Paladin and Steve or in front of Paladin and Steve?
I think I'm in front of them with the gun.
Okay, so here's your commissioned art for this episode. As the flame is gusting over them, Ozzy's leading through, Pat's over the shoulder with the gun, and behind you have the soldier carry of Paladin holding Steve up. As you make this move, you make it through the first exhalation of flame, and you come through, your face is getting covered with dirt and grit, and in some cases blood with Steve. And as you make it through the other side, there's one last gust that's there, and as you move, you see the clearing of Constitution Park beyond. And as Ozzy clears through and Pat clears through, I need Steve to make a resist pain roll.
Where is the resist pain?
About 2/3 the way down on the first column.
Up there it is.
Steve, you feel your side, even the burning seizes as the muscles around the wound just cramp and begin to pulse again, but somehow you're able to keep it and swallow the pain. And instead of dropping and dragging Paladin with you, you make it through.
We gotta get it to the opposite direction of the fire. We need to get like to where it's coming from.
I'm gonna bite through the pain in my knee and just keep going.
What do we see, Greg? Anything when we get through there?
When you get through, you see that the area opens up, and in front of you there is a wrought iron kind of entranceway that says Constitution Park. However, you do see that it is barred with a gate, and there is a paved road leading to the right and to the left. But those are just directions. You may go wherever you would like.
Anyone know where we are?
Would I
The
know where
fire
we're
is
at?
behind us now.
The fire's behind you and seems to be relatively contained to the woodlands, which you kind of, there's like 50 yards of grass between you and the forest. The forest, you can still feel the heat from here, now wondering how in the hell you could have actually been inside that. But, all of your skin is kind of flushed, but you're free of it for now.
We need to get there, to the other side of the fire where the fire is coming from. That's where we need to go. No vampires are going to stick around near the fire.
Just having a look, are there buildings on any sides of the road we see?
Roll me a spot listen.
Okay.
So which way would we have to go to get to the woodlands where the fire is coming from?
Failure.
Are you going to try to stay close to the fire?
Yes, I want to get to the other side.
Other side of the fire? Then that would be to the left.
Right.
The left would kind of skirt it.
That way.
Do I know where I'm at, Greg?
Steve, I will allow you to roll a composure, but this doesn't count against you if you fail. This is just kind of like a recollection through the pain.
Fail could not be worse.
You don't know where the hell you are, and you know one thing, Steve. You've been shot. You hurt.
I'm
Bullets
gonna follow
hurt.
whatever they say. I'm gonna go with. I'm good with it.
Can I also be looking around for buildings just to see if I see like a pharmacy or a hospital or anywhere we could get supplies?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you this: at the top of the hill, this seems to be at the top of a hill, with it going right and left, kind of breaking away from you all. So you don't see anything other than that entrance. But go ahead and roll me a spot listen, Pat, so we can kind of assess as you go. We'll use that as kind of like the. Yeah,
Nope.
There's a lot of smoke. Pat, you know one thing. There's a lot of smoke.
Yeah.
This is their town. We can't go into the town. That's where they are. That's always where they are. We got to get to the woods.
You think there's more of those things, man?
Well, obviously, you think there's going to be just one, and that idiot was the boss? No way.
Yeah. He said he was supposed to take us to town and let us go.
Right. So he's under orders to get us to the town. We need to get away from the town.
Yeah, we need to go, man. But, yeah, stay next to the fire, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that as with the earlier roll, staying close to the fire, it seems that going to the left would keep you skirting the fire within 50 to 30 yards of the flames.
Close being like in safe distance, not actually. Yeah.
Right, you're not dancing among the flickering flames, no, but you're keeping it within view and to your left. If you head to the left. Yeah.
Do you think we should get to like a river?
Just wanted to point that out.
Right.
Get to a river and like float out of here or something, man. I don't know, man.
That'd be great. If we came across a river, we're definitely doing that.
Yeah, we need to find a river.
Okay. I'll give anybody that ever was a Boy Scout or any type of survival specialist as a kid, you do know that the easiest way to find flowing water is to move downhill. You have two directions to take here, right or left. And you've
For
elected.
now, I'm just gonna consider going into the forest away from the city, and to get to the other side of the fire.
Right, you can't necessarily stay in the forest, but because it's burning. But you can definitely keep the forest in your periphery with the. Oops, did I freeze up? Can you guys hear me? Let me see. Okay, I guess we're
Everything
okay.
seems fine.
Okay, because roll 20 just crashed for me for no reason, and that's usually a precursor to bad things. Yeah, let us know in chat if I start pixelating or something like that. Let me know. Roll 20 decided it was not going to do anything. Okay, so as you all are able to move to the left, I will let you know what you see. As soon as you drop down the hill, you see the town spread out to your right. It's dark, and you don't see much to it. There's not a whole lot of indications sign-wise, which is odd. You see the sign poles, but you don't see the signs themselves to indicate street signs.
Because they're gone, or because they're obscured by something?
It doesn't look like there are actual signs on these poles, but there are poles everywhere. And so as you get closer, you see that your current course is going to take you directly behind a strip mall.
That's good.
Okay.
Are there any liquor stores in that strip mall?
Roll me a spot. Give me a new spot listen since you have covered some ground.
I don't suppose any of you has any medical training.
I'm a veterinarian, so
I got one success.
Well, there you go then.
Yeah,
If we
Steve.
find somewhere
there
even
it is.
remotely okay, you can maybe do something about this bullet wound.
Steve, you see the spirit shop. It's right
Yes.
there. It's,
Liquor. We can heal my wound, and I can drink.
yeah. I mean, at least cleaning it out.
Yeah.
Did the bullet go all the way through, Greg, or is it?
Yeah, there's an in and out.
Okay.
I got an outie.
Okay, let's go into there.
Unfortunately, you got an innie too.
Yeah, I got an innie and an outie.
As you head towards the front of the
Gotta be
spirit,
quick.
yeah, as you head towards the front of the spirit shop, you see that there is no security gate over it. And as you open the door, I'll give you all this one for free. Just to the right of the spirit shop is a little place called the Paperback Exchange.
Okay.
I remember
just
this from a
thinking
game
alcohol
from a
plus
game
fire.
Greg ran.
Paperback Exchange. I used to buy comics there. Wait.
The spirit
Let's get
shop.
it patched up first.
Yeah, the spirit shop is open,
Yeah.
and believe it or not, there seems to be a fully stocked shelves. However, if you
The
look,
old fire.
I just want one shot.
you notice that there is plenty of wine, plenty of warm beer, but the harder stuff seems to be gone. And on the shelf, instead of whiskey or anything that might be flammable, there is a comic picture of what looks like a vampire with slicked back hair and a cape with large collar doing a with the motion waves coming off the finger.
God damn it.
Fuck. Oh, that would have been too easy.
I grab a bottle of anything and just drink it, just to get something in me, just to feel something.
Steve,
Other than
you grab the most glorious of drinks as you grab a bottle of Sutter Home Pinot Grigio and bring it to your lips, and the refreshing, the almost life-giving juice
yes.
enters, and the exquisite taste calms your nerves a bit, but it does not heal you.
Gotta find a med
I'll
kit here. Med
also
kit.
like pour some. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna think about throwing it over my arm, and I'm thinking maybe not.
Are there any?
I do grab the picture though, and I show it to Ozzy, and we go, "Look, this is the bad guy."
Right. That
Keep an eye
explains it.
out.
How did I end up here? What's this? There are no vampires, for fuck's sake. And I'll run to.
It's a
the
bit of a
back where
coincidence that both of us are here.
And I'll see if I can get into the back of the shop,
Yeah.
like where the office would be.
Yep, you find an office. Yep, absolutely. Desk
I
and a file cabinet.
I'll look if there's anything useful in there, like a first aid kit.
Roll me a spot.
I'm gonna
listen.
look for lighters.
Lighters.
Any,
Okay.
They might
anything
have them.
useful.
I'm gonna keep drinking.
Nope, just a 1 degree of failure.
Yeah, with 1 degree of failure, though, Ozzy, I will tell you that The file cabinet and the desk are filled with just, invoices and things like that. It seems, though, that the main drawer of the cabinet, the large drawer beneath, right above where you would sit, that usually has, scissors or a letter opener, that one is completely empty. And
Nothing in here.
We got to get the hell out of here, guys. We can't stay here.
Are there any in the wine section before we head out? Are there any corkscrews available?
roll me a spot listen.
Anything pokey? Nope.
I'll help him with that.
No, it takes you a second, but yeah,
don't you need to just lie there and get medicked?
Right. Or at least, now that there's industrial rolls of paper towels, there's blue stuff.
Yeah,
that we can
I'll give you
use.
some paper towels. Yeah.
We can at least use that as makeshift bandages for Steve.
Don't say I didn't give you anything, Ozzy. Here's some paper towels against the vampires.
No, to patch up Steve with.
Yeah, right. You can wrap him up with paper towels.
At least, try and stop the bleeding or whatever.
Ozzy, since first aid isn't working, roll me a composure roll. Or I'll take this too. Roll me a calm other, if that one works.
Calm other?
It should be third down from the second column. Yeah.
0. No, 1 degree of success, yeah.
Yep. So, Ozzy, you're able to progress this healing a bit. You feel a little bit better, Steve. Mechanically, this may help you in the future. I'm not going to commit to anything, though, so it may help you. Paladin, you were doing something? You did find a couple corkscrews, Pat.
I was looking for lighters, because
you find an area you find plenty of cigars and cigarettes and things like that. But anywhere where you would find matches or a lighter, you find another one of those little caricatures.
I grab it. Fuck. I pocket it, and I also I'll pocket some of the smokes because I can use them to start a fire.
Gotcha.
Maybe if I ever find a match or something.
Right.
Yeah, we should not stick around. They took all the good shit out of here already.
How's the gunshot?
Well, it's still there. We don't want to put anything in this store in it. I don't want to pour wine or beer on that. So
Is there a bottle of water in here, like I can whoosh off a little bit to get the blood off me?
There's beer.
Yeah.
Beer's fine.
I mean, you can use like.
Give me a Coors Light. That's all water.
Yeah, I was gonna say a Coors Light is basically water. So
just so happens to have a 6-pack of Coors Light. Here you go.
You feel that Rocky Mountain water wash over
Right.
you, Steve, and
You could tell it's cool by the blue mountain here.
right.
Where are we? What is this place?
You would know that as you look around. I will tell you this: that you, just by indications from the invoices that Ozzy found, that this is Garrett, Maryland, in the United States.
Fuck. I'm from Europe.
What? How? Well, I mean, it was probably pretty obvious that we wasn't in the UK anymore because the van had a left-hand drive.
And the beer
now-
is Coors.
and the beer is Coors. That's pretty obvious as well. And the strip mall, which doesn't exist anywhere else either.
And the guns.
And the guns.
Yeah. Oh, this sucks.
How did you get here? Steve, aren't you from around here?
Yeah. I have no idea how I got here. I woke up and
Wait, you two know each other too?
Yeah.
yeah, we know each other.
Well, online we played games with each other a few times.
So that's
like with
3 of you.
Greg.
Do you play RPGs? I asked Pat.
I do. Yeah.
Well, fuck. Guess that's why we're here then.
Probably play.
Curse that TTRPG addiction.
Yeah.
I nervously look around for cameras.
Where's our dice at? We need dice.
This is some extreme gatekeeping they're doing here. All right. Well, let's get moving because we can't
Yes.
stay here.
So obviously Mr. Has been here, and I hold up the...
Are there any vehicles in the parking lot of the strip mall?
I'll give it to you for free. No, there are not. But, Ozzy, you did discover that there is a door out the back, and of course the door that you walked into in the front. No other exits or entrances into this place.
Which direction is that? Is that the opposite way we came, or is that...
The back door would actually bring you out closer to the fire. You kind of cut around the front, yeah.
The saloon in the back, just to let you know, but I don't think I think it would be safer staying on the wider road.
Yes,
at least from fire.
Not that I want to go running into a fire, but if it's a fire or a vampire, we may need to run back into the fire.
Yeah. We have to get to the other side of the fire somehow.
Well, if we're in Maryland, I would know that the Potomac River is somewhere around here, correct? Does that still exist in this place?
Yes, the Potomac River is still a feature of the state of Maryland.
Yeah. So there's a big river that runs. It's very close from here. We can try to get to that and get the hell out of here.
Let's go for the river then.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so you're all going out the back, correct? Is that what you said? You want to be closer to the fire?
Wherever that is.
Okay. Yeah, if you open up the back...
I know nothing of the geography of this place.
Yeah, if just to put you all in give a bit of a theater of the mind, you were walking down and directly in front of you was the beginning of the strip mall. You kind of hung a right around the front to get into the spirit shop, and if putting like the strip mall between you and the fire. So if you go out the back, there won't be anything between you and the fire. Except land. I mean, you're not walking out into a blaze. Yeah. But
that's about what we want.
Okay.
Can we do a spot lesson when we get out there?
When you get outside, go ahead and roll me spot listens, everyone.
Oh, I rolled swim for some reason. Sorry.
We'll take it.
Because you're swimming in fear.
Yeah.
Bum.
Okay, so as everyone goes out, everyone but Ozzy, you don't hear anything going on right now, but you think that in the distance you do hear a running vehicle of some kind. But it's very distant.
That way?
It's in the distance, like off to your, like not directly right, but almost at your like 2 o'clock. You hear it in front of you off to the 2 o'clock. So
that's not good.
But it's not close. It's just something that kind of hits your hearing because there's no other sounds other than the fire.
Right, gotta go slow, gotta go stealth.
If you're gonna go stealth, everybody roll me a stealth.
Stealth is not my forte.
I'm bleeding.
Steve is the living trail. Okay, so as you guys move down here, it's quiet enough, and you get to the end of the strip mall, and you see in front of you a concrete beginning of a drainage ditch.
That's gonna be super obvious, but effective.
Right, but if we go down there, are we able to get back out of there?
It's not like it's sheer, but it's a pretty steep decline.
It's...
I don't think...
No offense, Steve, but you've been shot.
That's a good question. Do I have blood flowing behind me? Am I leaving trails of blood?
You would have if Ozzy hadn't wrapped you in paper towels and succeeded on the roll that he did.
Okay, because I was about to tell them to go ahead, and I was about to sacrifice myself here because
I had written right here, Steve is a breadcrumb trail. And just to remind myself.
Now that you said that, I started thinking, wait a minute here, not good. If I start bleeding again, I'm just going to try to throw them off and let these guys get away. And I could make another trail somewhere else.
Okay.
And that might throw the vampires off to get these 3 out of here because they've heroically saved me. I'm going to try to save them. So if I start bleeding again, I'm going to do that.
Gonna be fine.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fine.
Okay.
If we go down there, I don't know, 1, that we climb out, but 2, I don't know that we're going to be able to lift Steve out of there.
Right. And I don't think, Ozzy, you can get in or out of there, right? With the knee.
If you throw me down, I'm going down.
Oh, sure, but that's not the plan.
It's
The way of the water.
right. It's not so sheer that you couldn't climb back out the sides. Let me make sure that that's clear. It's almost like it's the start of a roller coaster or a sluice, and then it levels off after about 25, 30 feet. So this is a water system to
We
sluice
could
water.
slide down easily.
Slide
enough.
down, yeah. That'll work. It'll hurt, but it'll work.
Okay. Does that seem like a good idea, or do we want to keep walking on the top?
I love it. Oh, not
I
me.
like the top. I like the top better next to the fire. That's what I like. Personally.
I do too.
Yeah.
Me too.
I do not want to get down in that drainage ditch.
Yeah,
And we're
and the
trapped.
ditch should be a good fire barrier as well.
The going down in the drainage ditch too is the way to stay closest to the fire. If you don't go down into the ditch, you'd have to peel off to the right and head back towards the main road. And every time you go right, you're pulling yourselves further away from the fire. The drainage
don't wanna
ditch
do
is
that.
But can we walk along the far side of the ditch?
no, it drops. You have a drop here, so everything is a
We
35
have
foot.
to go in the ditch.
Yeah,
have
to
to
get
go.
down. Now, once you get down, absolutely, you can
No,
pop right
I'm
back up.
at the top.
There's a fence that ends to the drainage ditch that goes
Oh,
down.
right.
Got it.
Yeah. So I mean, if you wanted to climb the fence and try to do the sheer side, yeah, but I wouldn't. I mean, that sounds great.
I guess it's the ditch it is then.
I don't like the ditch, but I don't want to go by the road where there's actual
Yeah.
competent vampires with cars.
Mm-hmm.
Any
Oh,
sign that
just
somebody's
like
already
the-
been in? Is there any sign that somebody's been in the ditch before? Anything going on around us?
Roll me a spot list. Roll me a search, please. You're looking for something specific.
So it looks a bit like the storm train in Terminator 2.
Much smaller. Much smaller.
Yeah, no, but sort of, it's
Same-
it's
That's
a, it's
also
a
what I was
concrete
picturing.
Yeah.
So,
Same-
open tunnel with walls on either side.
Exactly, but it's only about
Yeah.
4 feet tall on the sides
yeah.
and enough for two people to walk
Wow.
down.
that's
Steve,
easy then.
you see several shoe prints in the mud that seem to be going into the drainage ditch. They're pretty
Somebody's already-
The
fresh.
same direction we're going.
Same direction.
Somebody's already had this idea, guys.
Well, though, it's the best idea.
All right.
Let's go then.
All right, as you go down, and anything except 5 failures is bad here. So 3 and 4, you'll be all right. But I would like everyone to roll me a balance as you are going down the drainage ditch.
5 failures has been our specialty today.
There it is.
Somehow.
Makes perfect sense.
So as soon as you hit everybody, Ozzy, you're still in the lead. You just 1, 2, and your foot begins to slide on this loose earth. It probably would have held if someone hadn't passed this way before and kind of started the movement of the earth and the leaves against this concrete. But you go tumbling down, and you're gonna take 2 damage when you get to the bottom.
Ow.
The rest of you are able to make it down without the same fate as you kind of slide down in a controlled fall, and you make it to the ditch. As soon as you get to the bottom of the ditch, I'd like everyone to roll spot listen for me, please.
Nope. I'm focused on the well-being of my new friends.
Steve, as you get to the bottom with your head down as you're being helped by Paladin, you see... You're not sure what you see, but by God, it looks like the butt and pommel of a automatic weapon.
I run for it.
You do not. You stumble for it.
Stumble for it. Yes.
Okay.
And I pull out. I pull it out.
Ow.
When you said Bud, I thought we'd found Grant.
Yeah. Not yet.
Poor Grant. Poor Grant.
That was a good one, Paladin. Steve, you have found a M4 assault rifle. As you pull it, it looks almost brand new. Whether or not it has additional ammunition, unknown, but it does have a clip in it. The clip seems
Okay.
full by the weight.
Look what I found, boys.
Oh, that has to be a trap.
A gun? A trap?
Point that the other way.
Oh, I'm not pointing it at you. I know how to use a gun.
You want to give that a real good look over before you pull the trigger. And don't pull the trigger because then they'll find us.
Right now, it's just good to have.
Yeah.
Does it have like a strap?
It does.
Okay, I'll sling it over my shoulder.
Okay. You are now in possession of that weapon. It seems as if the ditch continues, and ahead of you, you see a parking lot.
Because if I was them, I would booby trap a bunch of guns and scatter them around the town, so all the victims would have a cool, I've got the upper hand, and then, explode their hands off.
Steve, if you're worried that is in fact booby trapped, I'll allow you to roll a search on it to see if there is.
Sure, yeah, sure. He's been Paladin's been a steady voice here. I will definitely listen to him.
It seems perfectly fine. There are no obstructions, no nothing. In fact, it's very well maintained, especially for having been found in the mud of a drainage ditch.
I don't know your name, buddy, but I think it's pretty good, friend.
Oh, I'm Paladin.
I'm Steve, and I kind of like,
As you all creep forward with the fire to your left, you see that there is this parking lot ahead, and there beneath one of the only remaining parking light lamps, one of the only lights above shining down, is a brilliant orange muscle car with flames on its sides.
Oh, that's not good.
Oh, that feels like a trap.
Yep.
Got flames on it.
So it goes faster.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
It's worth a try, isn't it?
Any movement anywhere? Like, this is where I expect people to be all,
Gotta try it.
Spot listens,
I'm
of
looking
course, if you'd
around.
like to, yeah.
And also, that's the only car we've seen since the van, isn't it?
It is.
Oh, look at that.
Nice.
Okay, so for those of you that succeeded, you don't hear anything, don't see anything, but as you examine the car from afar, something seems to be jammed in its back wheel.
What is that?
You would have to get closer.
Left-hand side back wheel.
well, it doesn't seem to be alive, right?
It's small. It's
Is that in the wheel itself or between the wheel and the wheel's arch?
You can't tell.
Right.
Well, what are we voting? Are we gonna look at it?
Are there like
Straight
walls
up.
in this parking lot? Like, can we stick to the forest without having to go around
right.
anything?
As soon as you
I'm
go
concerned
into
about the light.
Yeah, as soon as you go down into the parking lot is surrounded by chain link fence that has that privacy ribbon through it, brown privacy ribbon. It's about 8 feet tall, but you can still see the blaze of the fire. It's not as if it's that obscured. You know, you're still as close as you can be to the fire if you stay in the parking lot.
We can't drive it anyway. They'd know immediately where we were.
They've already taken out the liquor. They took out the fire. That's definitely a trap, I think, too. I think you guys are right. It just doesn't seem real.
Yeah. This we should ignore it.
Yeah, you don't see cars like that around here either anyway, so.
With a lot of luck, like what they've got jammed in there is an explosive or something. Would be nice to have an explosive though.
So what
But no, let's ignore it.
No.
Ozzy, what do you think, buddy?
I don't know. I mean, that thing isn't supposed to be there, so that's odd.
It's hard to walk away from that, though. I'll tell you what. I'll go. You guys stay to the fire, and I'll go check out the car. Something happens.
You can barely walk. You're shot.
Yeah.
I got the gun.
I should go, if any.
You guys are all healthy. You guys can get away. I can't.
Let's
That-
not. No.
that's
We
not
can
how
all
that
get
works.
away. We're gonna ignore the car.
Yeah, ignore the car. We're
Okay,
just all
okay,
gonna stick
okay,
together.
Okay, I'm with you guys. All right, that's fine.
All right.
But if I become a liability, this is not going to be
You're
good.
not a liability. You're gonna be fine.
I like your attitude.
Okay, so are you going to descend into the parking lot and then exit the parking lot, or are you just going to skirt the parking lot?
Skirt the
Skirt the
parking
parking
lot.
lot.
Skirt the light.
Okay. To do so, you will have to head towards the right, which keeps you outside of the parking lot, leaving the drainage ditch and getting you back to what would be, at least as far as you've seen so far, the main road.
Right, but the light's even more obvious, so we're gonna have to chance it.
Okay. As you get up to the main road, you see that stretching down below you is a sign that says Edgar Allan Poe Middle School, and you see the fire raging off
That's
to...
such a horrible name for a tiny school. Yeah.
Who did name that? I don't know who named that damn thing.
Yeah.
Off to the side, that's closest to the fire, and then back up the hill towards your right. Roll me spot listen. It's very dark up to the right. So, down the hill or up the hill or an undetermined point.
So we just keep going down.
Okay.
If we're going back to a more populated area, do we just want to try and run for it, or are we gonna still try and be sneaky?
The closer we get, the more sneaky we're gonna have to be. Because we're trying to get to the woods and then the river. So that's
I'm with you. I mean, yeah, I can't run anyway, so it's not like me. I have no option.
Exactly. And hey, whatever happened, we've already killed one of them. Like this, it's possible. We can do it.
We can do it. And if not, I'll give you guys a moment.
You know, we'll all go down together. There's no heroics.
And as luck would have it, at just that moment, with your prior failures on spot listen, you would all hear almost at the same time growls from the darkness to your right, to your left, and straight ahead. As humanoids that are crouched over, naked except they're moving like canines, low, a throwback in movement to beings from Resident Evil. They are and could be bipedal, but they choose not to be as they creep out of the darkness, their long tongues licking the jawline. They move as a pack, and I would like to know what you all do, because they're going to do something and it's all going to happen at once.
We got to get back to that car.
Yeah, run opposite direction, or move as quickly as I can.
I know you two can't run, so this is gonna.
How
fight
many
them.
of them is there, Jeej?
Yeah, how many are there?
You're not sure, but you see 4. And I'd like everybody, before you can tell me what you'd like to do, your intentions, and then everybody roll 1 speed die. I will be doing the same.
I'm gonna fight whichever one's most obvious. Ooh, that's a high roll.
I'm going to start shooting.
I think I'm gonna shoot. I know we're not all gonna be able to run, so at least try and take one out.
Okay, so it looks to be Steve, Pat, and then I'm going to... Wait, yeah, Steve, Ozzy, Pat, then these fellas, and then Paladin. So, Steve, what are you doing?
I'm gonna channel my Dwight Burke, man. I'm gonna just start unloading on him. You know what I mean? Aim at the closest ones to me.
Aim at the flat top. Yep. Okay.
Long gun, firearms.
Yep.
Any advantages I can use? Anything like?
I'm afraid you don't have any.
Oof.
As you begin to fire, it belches out lead and controlled death, but you don't see it hitting anything. But for a moment, as one, the creatures like kind of scoot down at the sound and the blasting of death above them, but none of them appear to be hit by it. Ozzy, what do you do as Steve opens up and begins firing?
I'm just turning around and move as quickly as I can the way we came from.
Okay. That would take you, you're going to try to go back and skirt around the outside of the parking lot or into the parking lot?
I think into the parking lot and trying to, take cover behind the car.
Okay. You're able to move, and we're going to say you're about 2/3 of the way to the car. Pat, you see all of this happen as Ozzy turns and begins to move at best possible speed towards the car. Pat, you turn, you see Steve opening up. The wound on his side opens up with the jerking of the gun. He's in the light of the muzzle flash. Steve is very pale.
I'm backing up the same direction Ozzy did, but like walking backwards, and I'm trying to help out by shooting whichever the closest one is to Steve and Paladin.
Get out of here, guys.
Okay, so if you're going to fire, roll me a firearms pistol as you take your shot.
Oh, jeez.
Again, Pat, you fire and you're aiming, but there's just too much going on right now. The creatures then attack as they all launch towards you. Steve, I need you to roll me a dodge, but this time you're going to be, this is the -2 successes, so it'll be compromised by 2. A dodge from Pat and a dodge from Paladin, please.
I wanted to attack the one that was so slow. Dodge. Nope.
Pat, you fire and jump out of the way as one of these creatures just passes right over you. You can actually feel the weight of its tongue as it hits you on the side of the neck. It almost feels like someone just smashing you with like a piece of fruit. It has a weight and a viscous quality to it as you move to the side. And as your head jerks with that slap, you see one of these creatures leap on top of Steve and drive him to the ground. And as you turn, another leaps on top of Paladin and drives Paladin to the ground, as they're not injured, but you see that they have these things on top of them as these things attack. First one is Steve, and second one is Paladin. Paladin, you take 3 damage as this creature, its tongue, the tip of it is barbed, and it wraps around your neck, drawing blood beneath your jaw as it begins to constrict. And as it does, it pulls up, revealing your neck, and you can see, almost like a fisherman, it begins to wind its tongue in and opens its mouth to latch it onto the side. You still have an action that you can do, and it is your turn.
I'm gonna punch it in the mouth.
I love it. You can roll me either a brawl or a melee attack bludgeon.
Like it's got its fangs or whatever it has, and I'm just gonna punch its biggest tooth.
You go for the big tooth, right?
Yeah.
So
that's the obvious target. So that's what I'm punching. What would you like me to roll?
Let's go with brawl. This seems like a brawl time.
Come on.
You punch the tooth, and I'm going to give it to you because punching one particular tooth is sort of my jam. As you hit it, you cut your fingers, or like your knuckles open on the tooth, but the tooth itself actually moves in the gum a bit. You seem to have loosened it, and it reels back for a moment as it continues to like crank its tongue in, opening its mouth. Steve, you are still under this creature, but as it attempted to do the same thing, somehow you were able to get away and it couldn't latch its tongue to you. Its weight is on top of you as it's perched there. We go back up to Steve at the top of the round. Steve, you're underneath this thing. What do you do?
Can I kind of grab it by the back of the neck and shoot the gun into it?
You absolutely can try.
Yeah, right up to its throat.
firearms, long gun, please. Okay, what I want you to do here is I want you to roll the following. I want you to roll 3 damage dice, and we're going to reduce whatever... You're going to hit this thing. We're going to reduce whatever you get it by 5. So roll 3 damage dice as you point blank the M4 into its...
18.
Whoa!
Boom!
So with 13,
Suck it.
you blast this thing off of you as its back explodes, revealing ribs and spine as you open up, and you feel the weight on top of you get heavier as it slumps over top of you. It doesn't appear to be moving as you are pinned now beneath this creature. That's the end of your turn, Stephen. Ozzy, you make it to the car. What do you want to do?
Open the passenger side door, or try to see if it's unlocked.
Okay.
Because you're British and it's the wrong side.
No.
It is unlocked.
If it's strapped, they're most likely going for the driver's side. That's my thinking.
I will also give this to you for free. The keys are in the ignition.
As I move up, do I see the thing that's sort of sticking in the wheel?
You do. And again, I'll give it to you for free. It appears to be a large crystal.
What?
Like a shard of crystal? Like a solid...
Sounds crazy. It's a shard of crystal.
And
Crystal
it's
meth?
sticking in
It's
the
not crystal
wheel or in
meth.
the tire part?
Dang it.
That would have been the trifecta for America.
Yeah, no strong alcohol, no crystal meth. There's nothing cool in this town, man.
Is it in the wheel or is it in the tire?
It seems to be stuck between the rim and the tire itself.
Okay, is it deflated?
The tire is not deflated. It just seems to be wedged there weirdly.
Okay, right. So my thinking is because you can stick a tire and if you leave the thing in, it can hold. But if you pull it out, then it will deflate. So I'm going to leave that thing in, crawl in through the passenger side, in the driver's seat, start the car.
It sounds... It's testicular in its ignition. It's a
Wow, that is some description.
Yeah. As it's ball shaking as it rumbles beneath you.
Right. Is there a way for me to drive towards the others?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Ozzy,
And
I
I'll
will tell
turn-
you this, as you turn on the car and look up, you see 2 of these creatures advancing toward you.
Okay, and I'm going to try and run them down.
Okay? We will come back to you in just 1 second as we go to Pat. Pat, what would you like to do as the one that jumped and you Olayed has continued into the parking lot with a friend. You see that one is crumpled beneath, or Steve is beneath one of the crumpled ones, and Paladin is currently being reeled in by the other.
So the one I dodged there's a second one with it, and they're going in Ozzy's direction now.
Correct.
And I hear the car starting because you have to hear that sound.
Yes, it's
It's
testicular.
Shit. Just get to the car, and I sorry, and I turn my back on Paladin and Steve and race towards Ozzy. I try and shoot one of them that's going at him.
Okay, so as you're running, you're going to meet in the middle with Ozzy as you shoot. Roll me a firearms pistol.
Oh, damn it.
You shoot, and there's that brilliant ricochet sound as it goes off the blacktop, but you're running towards Ozzy. Ozzy, you would see this convergence. Paladin, I need you to do whatever you think you need to do as this creature is reeling you in. Wait, I'm sorry.
One more punch.
Pat, you ran. It's them. So let me do this. I forgot you went last, Paladin.
That's fine. It's all good.
Paladin, as it reels you in, it does another 3 points of damage as you feel the fangs crunch into your neck, as your own blood begins to spray out of your neck. You have a moment now. It's now your turn. What would you like to do as this thing has you like a fish
I'm
or a
pretty sure I'm
snake?
gonna die, so I start to cry because that's normal. I say, it's not fair. And I try one more time to punch it, but without like
Conviction.
conviction, which is what I run on as a human. So,
Paladin, you would see as you're sitting there just slapping the side of it weakly as it begins to drain you. You see a pair of denim-clad legs walk up and kind of kneel down in front, and you see a fellow that looks a bit like Matthew McConaughey looking at you, and he says, "Damn right, man, it ain't fair. Did a hell of a good job, though. To be honest, everyone thought you all were dead. They thought your group burned up in the fire." And he's stroking your hair as this thing drains you. "I'm sorry, man. Vaya con Dios." And he stands up and moves over towards Steve. Well, hell, boy, you killed one of them. You look like shit. I can fix that." And he leans down, Steve, as you're trapped beneath this creature, and he smiles, and behind him you see Strider. "It's all right, man. It's cool." And
I'm breathing heavy now.
as we cut into the parking lot, Ozzy, you roar towards the two as Pat moves towards you, and as you begin to move the car, the back seat folds down, and inside you see a creature. Well, you don't until it reaches the back window. A creature pulls itself up with bladders of something all over it, and it smiles and it has flames inside of its mouth. "For the mistress." And it bites one of the bladders just as the car gets to Pat, gets to the creatures, and the fireball that ensues is brighter than the flames on the side of the Garrett. I mean, the car. And as this comes to pass in Garrett, Maryland, Steve, you feel a ton better. And Strider reaches down with a hand. "Hey, man."
Strider?
"Yep."
What did they get you too, man?
I mean, we're all right.
I feel my neck.
Yeah, there's 2 puncture wounds there.
Oh, shit.
And that's where we'll end this session of Outbreak Undead.
that was really great.
That was good.
Fantastic.
So good.
Alrighty, my friends. Like I said at the
Never
beginning,
thought it would last this long.
you all started with a hell of a interesting, not a disadvantage, because technically they all thought that you had burned up in the fire and no one was looking for your group. But of course you don't know that. So,
We got so close.
yep, you did. That was a fire that was actually set by Pope's character at the beginning of this series. But everything that happens can happen and will happen and affect the others. But let's go around and talk to everybody, because we have our double beheader coming up as we have another group getting ready to file in here in just a few moments. Quickly, everybody, as we go around and talk. Paladin, my friend, welcome again to the channel. And how are you today?
I'm doing well, considering I just got my throat ripped out. You know, that's how it goes. That was so fun. I like how this turned out. We did good.
I thought you guys did great, really. I thought escaping the van was a hell of a accomplishment.
Yeah, we got him.
You
That
did.
dude is super dead.
Yep. Rip Bill. as we go over to Ozzy. Ozzy, my friend, how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm good. I really, really enjoyed this. This was good fun. I never thought I would last this long. And we're doing the usual pluck thing. I'll be, just after the next game is finished, I'll be on Skageth's channel. And we're playing Masks of Nyarlathotep. So we're starting at Scenario Prepper in New York tonight at 9 British Summer Time, which is 4 p.m. Eastern.
Fantastic, my friend. Everybody, follow Ozzy, follow Paladin. Links are in chat for all of their fun RPG shenanigans. And let's jump over to another new friend, Pat. Pat, you had your moment. You had a couple of them.
Yeah.
How are you doing, buddy?
That was great. I was way less of a liability than I expected to be.
Superstar.
No, that was a blast. I was so happy to be on the channel for the first time, and everything went so fun. That was a great way. Of the ways to go in this scenario, I feel like that was a great option.
Right. Running towards the hope. The hope that Ozzy was driving, the testicular hope. Anywho, Pat, thank you so much for being here, my friends. Let's go over, finally, Steve. Steve, you won, buddy.
I guess I did. I don't know. That was a blast. These guys were great. I love playing with all three. It's a pleasure to meet them. Thanks for seeing me soon. I'll be here on the channel. Had a blast.
Fantastic, my friends. Thank you all so much for being here and playing. Legion, thank you all for being here. We are going to be right back with the second half of the show. I'm going to drop the stream just for about 30 seconds to a minute, just to be able to reset it and have another VOD created. So say goodbye to our group. They did a fantastic job. So happy that they were all here. Guys,
thanks for watching.
Just a great, very pleasurable experience. Paladin and Pat, a hell of a job. Great to meet you. We will play again very, very soon. But everyone, stick around. As the campfire goes down for a moment, there's only one thing left to say. You can't always roll nat 20s, but you can always role play. See you in a few, friends.